Morning, guys. Satu Dave. Let's do the old traditional. Why not? Satu Dave. All right. I was hanging with the got those there. Don't spook them. You probably see them buzzing around here in a minute. So I think I did a little something different this week. I'm going to explain. Shit, my beard. I'm going to explain what's going on, I guess, and then I'm going to try to show it and close-ups and that sort of thing. It's morning because I got to go to work here in a little bit, so I'm going to try to get this done now so that y'all can watch it sometime today. So I told y'all last week and thanked y'all last week for the scale and the buying out of scales, and that was kind of sort of because I knew this was going to happen, right? So on my Instagram, I had posted that I saw a couple of blades on. Damn, what the hell is in my freaking beard? I saw a couple ads from Blade Forums. I think it was Blade Forums that were Sawtooths for sale, and someone said, you know, I get asked a lot where I find Sawtooths and that sort of thing, and price ranges and that sort of thing, but they fluctuate a lot. But having said that, if you've been looking for Sawtooths, and I am 100% in love with DLC Sawtooths, but if you look for Sawtooths, especially DLC Sawtooths, you don't see very many DLC Sawtooths. You don't see very many full tie DLC Sawtooths. You definitely don't see them in great condition. Not really that often come for sale. But two popped up, and that's some of the two that I put on the Instagram post for you guys to check out if you were interested in it. Nobody really jumped on them. And I waited, I don't know, 5 days or something after I posted that, and I just messaged that dude and see if he still had them. He still had them. I threw him an offer for both of them. He accepted the offer for both of them. And yeah, they were kind of more of a premium because they are the DLCs, and that's what I'm into. But I guess a couple weeks ago when I did that auction for the Shark 2 that Eric got. By the way, Eric, I did make you another stop pin. We'll go over there in a second. He decided he wanted different scales for those. I think I told y'all as much. But my brother Snuz decided he wanted the scales. So I took one of those DLC Sawtooths, and this thing is just damn near minty. Like, let's see if I can even show you how. This is factory edge. It's not a mark on this thing, man. The only thing bad about this one was the hardware came marred up. I got pictures and stuff, but some of the hardware came marred up. So I ended up just putting blasting hardware in it, which kind of works for this one anyhow, because he wanted that blue faded scale that was on that Shark shot too. That's what I was kind of alluding to. So I still got the back spacer, the tie back spacer, and the anodized from JD. It really complements the black a lot. I like it a lot. I don't even mind the blasted hardware. Personally, I kind of think it looks good with the blasted hardware. And of course, I'm gonna throw him the hardware that was marred up. But you know, if he decides he wants to put black in it, it's fine. But he still got this, and he still got the original scale, which this one came with this P-Apply G10 OD green with a black liner. So you know, he could still slap this back on there and rock a G10 like army style. Funny enough, before they started making these green ones available for the DLCs, I built one like that, and this is way back in the day. And it was kind of all the rage on Instagram. Everybody's like, holy crap, you built a green DLC? I don't know, I was just weird back then. But in case y'all wondered, like, did I name myself Satu Dave? I didn't. Okay, so this was a name I earned from years ago. I had a ton of Sawtooths at the time. I think I had like 8 Sawtooths. And if y'all know Chris from Phantom Steelworks, which I don't know if he's alive or builds knives or anything else anymore, but he used to carve up knives and make them all anodized, and they were just real interesting, right? And I had like 3 of those. I had a bunch of Sawtooths. It was ridiculous. And somebody said, I'm the Sawtooth King. I said, man, I ain't a king of nothing. And they're like, well, you're definitely Sawtooth Dave. And that's how I got my name. So in case you're wondering, I didn't name him. One of you guys named me. But I don't even remember who it was. It's been so long ago. It's literally probably almost 8-9 years ago or something. But anyway, this thing still needs to be broke in. Like, it's literally been sitting in a dude's safe. Like, obviously he had trouble taking it apart, but other than that, like, it's not showing any signs of use. You don't see any marks on the thumb studs. I mean, absolutely nothing on this for a DLC. Yeah, man, you don't find them in a better condition than this. So like, this is like a treasure for me. So brother Snuz will get that one. He lives in here in Arizona, and I was trying to figure out if I could ride out to meet him, but we got a couple patients we need to go see later on this afternoon that are kind of urgent that we kind of need to address later on this afternoon. It's veterinarian, it's not people, so don't think it's not even me. I'm not the intelligent one, that's my wife. I ain't gonna get into the business thing, but we got shit to do this afternoon. So that one was the one scale set. So Billy was the other one who wanted the scale set. Problem with Billy is, he didn't really like the DLC idea. Like, he's not a DLC kind of guy. And so if you're a DLC guy, why would you pay the premium for the DLC? Unless it's something you wanted to try. And he just kind of wasn't warming up to the idea. I mean, he was going to take a Satu, but, you know, I think Billy didn't really like the whole, he doesn't like the whole buy, sell, trade secondary thing because he's had bad experiences or whatever. I've always had great experiences. So, I mean, yeah, I've took a couple lumps here and there, but as a whole, by far and large, I really enjoy the secondary market more than the primary market for the most part. Most of my knives came from the secondary, almost all of them actually. Very few came from the maker or from a, you know, a direct store or something like that. Very few. And I'm rambling and I apologize. But anyway, this one actually came from another dude who hit me up for scales. I believe the dude's name is Cole. I don't want to go into more details, but he had actually talked to me about scales. And I believe he found this knife from another post that I had done a while back. So it's kind of cool. It's round. He decided he wanted to do something different, which is awesome. Like, I always think, like, you know, if you get a Satu, especially listening to me, and you think that, hey, it's all right, but it's just not really for me, and you kind of want to move it, hit me up, like, because I like doing this stuff for other people too. Like, and before I even mention it, I'm not making a dime on any of these things. Like, when I'm putting it all together, matter of fact, I'll probably lose money paying for shipping, but I don't care. Like, I just want everybody to have what they want. So Billy's getting Cole's old full tie S30V stonewashed, and this thing is pretty dang minty too. So I don't know, I guess this one does look like it's been sharpened. I think, yes, this one's definitely not a factory edge, but it's not a bad edge. It's just not, it doesn't, well, I'll put it this way, it doesn't look like a factory built edge, put it that way. That DLCs, those look minty fresh, like straight from Draven themselves. This one looks like someone put a little attention to that edge, which is kind of cool, because I think Billy's not the sharpening guru. But this one, like, there's no marks on it, man. It's, you don't find them like this. Like, you just don't find them like this. So yeah, this was kind of a premium too. But I don't mind, especially one of you guys, you know, buying and selling trade. And he, you know, because Billy was gonna buy a scale set. This doesn't need it. Oh, God damn it, motherfucking son of a. Well, obviously I got cat bombed. I got a little upset there, but I found all the pieces, so we're good. We're right back on it. So I was rambling. That's funny as hell. So anyway, to finish up the story, this is Billy's stonewashed S30V full tie. I did put my tie back spacer, and this was just got the blasted spacer, so it's, you know, blocked off from the lanyard, but I'll include the regular lanyard in case he wants to put a lanyard on it. But Billy, I hope you enjoyed this one. Sorry about the cussing too, y'all, but you know how it is. You got stuff laid out, and then the cat bombs you, so they up out of here now. Anyhow, so that's Billy's. So I have another one, and I went ahead and put a scale set on this one, but this is another DLC, and this one is minty fresh too. I'm in debate to sell this one or that other stonewash that right now it's on Scott. Let's get it up. Is it be up? God, Scott, I'm sorry, dude. Let's get it up. I think it's what his channel's name is. Damn, I cannot remember. I'm sorry, bro. But anyway, I send him stuff every now and then to check out. He's a bro for Instagram and now YouTube, bro. Let's get it up. That's it. I'm sorry. So anyway, he's got my other Satu, the stonewash one that y'all have seen on other people's channels. That's generally the kick around, loan around one. I'm debating either selling this one or that one. That one's definitely got a better edge on it, but this one is minty fresh too. And I did put the dark blast scale on this one because it's more the style that I like personally, and I let the kind of lighter backspacer full tie. So this is now full tie, lanyard hole block, DLC. Most of the lanyard holes exposed back here. You get that little grayness back there, but this is the style that, like, ideally I like this style a lot right here. Does it make sense for me to keep 2 DLCs? Or should I keep a stonewash and a DLC? I'm down to 2. And would I sell both? I guess maybe if, but this one here, this is a premium one because obviously I paid the premium for the DLC, and now it's got the scale set on it too. So this one came with the carbon fiber scale. So if y'all seen Scotch and Things, Steve, he got a carbon fiber one too. This one has the black liner, so it does still have a hole like if you built it all, it has a cool ass look to it. Oh, that was pretty fucking useless, wasn't it? Sorry, I got fired up with them damn cats. So it still has a really cool look being carbon fiber with that black liner, you know, if you use the black liner instead. So it still has a cool look stock too. So, but yeah, I got one more for sale. So some people have asked where else to find them. Like I said, that one's going to be a premium sale. Basically $650. So I know it sounds like a lot, but if you add it up, it's I'm not making a cent on it. I really ain't. I'm just selling the scale for the same way I'd sell anybody else's scale for, and it's the DLC that's what I paid for the DLC. All right, so that's over with the Satu stuff as far as that goes. Other than I said I was going to show you, Eric, what's going on with your knife and discuss a few more things. So hang tight and we'll go to a top-down thing. All right, so this is my full-time DLC. You can see it's all beat up and stuff. This is mine blowed apart just to show you kind of basically what's going on here. So if you guys have ever taken apart a Satu, your pivot is much smaller than what it looks like in the blade, right? So a 1/4 inch pivot or so. This is the stop pin coming out. So when you put these things back together, there's one or two ways you can do it. You can either, because you got a bushing for your blade. So you can either take your bushing, put it in your blade, and then sandwich your washers on both sides. Like that, and slide it in here as a unit, okay? You can either hold it together and do it, or you can do it like I do most of the time when I do my knife, is I take the bushing out first. Put the bushing, put your lube on this, you know, put your bushing on first, lube around the outside of your bushing, lube that surface of that tie, put your washer on. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this behind the camera, so it's a little bit on the awkward side. And then put your blade on next, right? And build it like a normal knife from there. Okay, the reason being is that bushing can't get pinched in those copper washers. It becomes an issue. Another thing for Sawtooths, I want to mention this because this is kind of sort of something me and Plethora Blades were talking about the other day. If you start getting lock rock on these things, especially with the bushing, now with the bushing you're going to get a little bit of side to side anyhow, but it's just how it works with the bushing style system. But if you're getting a little bit of lock rock and your lock bar isn't all the way over, put some more lock bar tension on it. These don't have lock bar over travel stops, so you can't over travel them just by opening and closing them. Like it's just something that happens from time to time. So we're going over stop pins now. So Eric didn't like how late his lockup was on his, so we went ahead and changed the stop pin. So what I do on this, and this is your pin right here, Eric. So what I do on this is this and this shaft are the same diameter. They go in those scale sets, right? So obviously there's one on both sides that those go into. So you change the center diameter, make it bigger. But there's always things to consider when you're changing the center of the diameter. So it's basically, if you look the way this one is, it comes really close. If you look right here, this diameter comes really close to this edge of this blade. I don't know if it's visible. Let's see if I can turn it up a little bit. I'm gonna try to make this work so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Do you see how close? Do you see how close that is of making it work? So on Sawtooth, that's a limiting factor of how big I can make that stop pin, right? This happens to be one of the worst late lockup Sawtooths I've ever had. Did I make it work? I did. Can I make it work more? I think I'm at the biggest size I can right now with that stop pin to make it work for this particular Sawtooth. So that's a few tips for you guys if you have Sawtooths and you're having issues. So while I was talking about stop pins, I showed you my brother Jose's, which was this guy. And this is the stop pin I made. Oh, that's the one that came out of it. Let's see if I can get this frame here. This is the stop pin that came out of it. It's got the new one in it. And if you look right here, let's see if I can zoom this sucker in. So right here, like we did before, is there any play? None. So now, no lock at all. So that stop pin fixed this particular issue. The other thing you have to consider, let me go back to normal. The other thing you have to consider, especially on a knife like this, so this is the stop pin for open and closed. So obviously it fixed the detemp lash in the closed position. But when it opens, essentially the knife's opening, and this is going to be a little bit more dramatic. Let's get this one over here so I can kind of show you. I got my other one blowed apart so I can kind of sort of show you. As this knife's opening, you're hitting the stop pin earlier. So basically, over dramatically, the blade is sitting like this more. So your lock bar angle of engagement is going to be slightly different. So if you're making a huge adjustment, it's going to affect geometry everywhere. The distance between the pin and the pivot makes a huge difference, and the difference between the pivot and the lock bar makes a difference. So all these knives, it's not like you can just do it to all of them and that's how you fix it. But that's just how these two were fixed, was the actual stock pin being a little bit oversized. So I think this one stock was like a 174, 175 pin, and I think I went to a 182 pin. So you're not talking a great, huge jump. And with that, I'm talking about the diameter, not the radius. And essentially, if you're only half the pin to the blade, you're talking about the radius difference. So the difference there is what, 1/8 of 1/4 difference. So it's not a huge difference, but it's enough to make a difference in the blade lash and stuff of Jose's knife. Now his knife's good to go. And now, since we're on the not Sawtooth subject at this point, I mentioned before I want to do some pass arounds with the tiers, that you guys get your hands on them. So this is the one that I got the maker itself to redo. It's kind of the hybrid blade, although I talked to another guy who had bought another blade at Blade Show Texas with the same configuration. I'm not sure if he had the clip or not. Maybe he did or didn't. Oh yeah, I think he said he did, but he wanted to change it. But anyway, I had a few people that hit me up that wanted to check our loaners out, and almost in that one, and probably this Damascus one. Both these are pretty damn good representation of what you're going to get. Both of them could probably use an edge. I don't have time, so I want to send these to somebody who either could put an edge on it or don't give a shit about that edge. Let me get my notes out here. Let's see. For the tier loaner, I got Mateo, Will from WC Blade Reviews, Razor Ramon, and Dan from well, here and Instagram. If your name is not on the list and you wanted to check one of these out, let me know. I'm gonna try to keep a list of people. And if you guys don't mind sending to one another, once I send it out, I just want to get it back once and be done with it. So Mateo might buy one, so it may turn into one tier. I don't know. What the hell is snow on my beard? It's still bothering me. Anywho, I need addresses because I like to send these out tomorrow if it's possible. So if you see this, you wanted that, and you know I have it. Like I Mateo, I know I have his address, so I'm gonna send him that. And so Will, Razor Ramon, or Dan, if y'all see this, throw me your address today. Sometimes I'll get one of you guys the knife, and then if you don't mind, we'll go from person to person on down the road. If you want to sharpen it, please do. If you're a good sharpener, or at least a decent sharpener. And then we'll kind of go from there. If somebody else wants to check out any of the Shimano's I have, go ahead. And then, cool enough, someone's going to loan me one. I ain't got it yet, but someone's going to loan me something different. So we'll get to check that out. I may am doing mods on that too. I don't know. While we're speaking of mods, I got a couple of jobs coming up for mods, and then I think I'm pretty much going to be done. I keep saying I'm going to be done doing it, and I keep doing people stuff. But I like doing that kind of stuff, and some of the jobs are quick and easy, and some of them are painted. But this video is epic length. I'm sorry. Now for what I really wanted to show you. Oh, I got more shit to say. Let's see. Okay, I got all that. All right. I got notes today. And I even printed them off so I can read one of my chicken scratch. So we talked about me making scale sets for the Project X. This is the first iteration. What am I trying to say? This is my prototype. How about that? This is the prototype of it. And I didn't finish it, mainly because my brain wasn't 100% functioning when I got there, and I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do with the program when I got there. So it's extra thick now. So, you know, there's a stock scale, and this is the my scale. And yeah, there are some blends on it, if you can see that. But I went ahead and just made it slab side for now. So it's just a huge, big, thick piece of titanium. I didn't do anything design-wise to do a backspacer yet. And I didn't do any contouring. I just left it like that. I didn't put the finger groove in it. It's just literally slab sides. I did this in one day and basically just wanted to see it because I did change the profile of this a little bit. I wanted to see if it kind of worked for me and how I like the feel of it in the hand and that sort of thing. So the main differences you're going to see, I should probably do this top down. Yeah, hang on. Let me do this top down. All right, now we can see it a little better. So there's what I got so far. You see it's nothing really, no contour, it's super thick. This is literally off the machine with a little bit of Scotch-Brite on the edge so I don't cut myself, kind of thing. So I wanted to show you the profile differences. So this is just the liner, and I'm just going to set the liner on top of it, and you can see it's a little bit different, especially in that relief in here, where that one kind of has a little different line, but you got to realize that the scale is different than the liner. In other words, profile, if you look in this area right here, you see how that profile is different too. So I kind of went in between and did my own little thing. I don't know if it's completely visible you can see that, right? You see that difference there, and you can see that this one is different through here too, right? So it's definitely different. So you have more access. If you're looking in here, you have more access to this lock bar. And obviously if I contour it, it's going to feel different in the hand. Like right now it's just super slappy, but I actually don't mind it like now. And excuse the blade, like it was in the sharpener. I just didn't finish it. It's time, man. It's always time. But with this, even with the thumb stud mod that I got, like if you don't have thumb studs, you don't really care about the access to the thumb studs, right? But if I'm assuming the thumb stud mod's probably going to be a more popular mod. But even with that, I can get in there no problem. And, well, as I miss it, I can get in there no problem and flick the thumb stud. Obviously, the backside, the reverse flick didn't change at all. But this is just thumb stud action-wise. But access to the lock bar now. If you come back close to this little edge right here, it's easy, super easy. You can see I did it with my thumb. That's normally not how I disengage. Normally, I come around with my fingers and disengage with my fingers and then push through. That's how I normally do it. So anyway, this is just an update on the Project X scale. So we do have a scale. Put it in the screen so I can actually see it. We do have a scale at this point, and it's working prototype, so that's a good thing. The profile I'm pretty well happy with. There's a few things I need to clean up, like I messed up the size of the jimping to start with, and you can kind of sort of see on this inside here how the diameter looks funky. See it? Yeah, basically I drove my center drill in too far. That's just, it was programming issues. Like it's just part of programming when you're sitting at a machine and trying to program a part and trying to think of all the dimensions. Sometimes you miss stuff. So I was planning on making it 170 thousandths and it turned out being 250 thousandths. So yep, the center drill went too far. And then I was like, oh, you're a dumbass. But anyhow, interest people in this scale. Like obviously I'm not done with it. I'm still working. The people that I think are interested in it is going to be Mitch Bowling, Steve from Scotching Things. I'm just going to say Snokes for you on Instagram. And on here, it'll be S3RZZ from YouTube. If you ask me about a scale and you're still interested in it and you're not on that list, let me know. Because obviously I'm going to show you guys a final. But after I get that, I'm not making extras. I'm just going to make what I want. And that's it. I'm going to be done with this. It's one and done. Kind of like most of the time what I did with the other scales that I've done, like the 550s and that sort of thing. So like, if you're interested, let me know. Okay, hang on. Oh man, what a long one, y'all. Well, hopefully somebody will watch all this, and if you don't, that's fine too, whatever. But recapping, I got one Satu for sale. It's a premium one, sorry. If you're not into premiums. Eric, I got your stop pin made. Zay, I got your stop pin made. I'm gonna send you this K2, I just don't know which one yet. If you're interested in the Project X scale, let me know before too long, because you never know when I have the opportunity, and that's what it boils down to, is opportunity. I'm not sure when I'm gonna get it done, or I gotta finish that one first, obviously, but I'm not sure when I'll get the whole thing done. So hit me up. All right, hope y'all have a great week. Hope I wasn't too rambly and all over the place, but y'all know how I am, and it's even morning time, so like I'm even more. All right, y'all be good. See y'all later. Take it easy.